They say it takes 6 months for a new country to start feeling like home. But the truth is, home isn't a location you find on a map. It's a routine. When you have a family to look after, the stakes are even higher. You aren't just adapting yourself, you're trying to be the anchor for everyone else. It takes effort, it takes patience, and most of all, it takes time. After a while, you find you settle into your past routine as easily as your foot fits into your shoe, and that feeling of normality, comfort, and homeliness return. Even the difficult and frustrating things, like getting your kids ready for school.
You ready to go to school?
Yeah.
Routine is important. It creates a sense of security, of purpose, of stability. We find this even in the most mundane tasks, like going to school and turning up to work. Getting back into this routine was really important, especially for our family, just to find your feet again, get back into the same way of doing things. Even these mundane things, like getting ready, which are not always easy and of course come with a lot of difficulties, especially when you have young kids. But getting back into this routine, things start to feel like you're back on your feet again, like things are going the way they used to go, especially if you've been living somewhere for a long time. The previous place we lived in was for 8 years, so of course we had a lot of roots there. All of our friends were there, all of our children's friends were there. You feel very comfortable in your job, in your position, in the office, around your colleagues. You know where everything is. You're accustomed to the ways, the language, the traditions of the people that you've been around. Your home feels like home. You're firmly planted there. And when you uplift all of that, of course it's a big shock. It's a shock to you, your system, it's a shock to your family. But now, having been here for 6 months in France, I think we can say we're feeling like the place that we live in is home now. The first time we really felt that was when we went on holiday just a few weeks ago. When we returned here, it was the first time we had returned to our new home. That's when things started to feel familiar. That's when it kind of felt like it clicked. And it was my wife that made this comment. She said, it actually feels like we're back home now, having been away for a few weeks. So it does take time. But what I find is that home, of course, is not just the place that you are. It really is the routine, the things that you're doing that make it feel like home. And that is difficult to get back into, especially when it comes to your kids. Of course, they are doing extracurricular activities. They have these hobbies, and of course when you uplift them, you are kind of taking a break from that, and you want to try and get back into that routine as quickly as possible. But I have to say, it does make it much easier to get back into a routine and to feel like a place is home when it is so beautiful and so scenic. And we are very lucky living here. Right behind you, I have this beautiful view of the Pyrenees from where I'm sitting, and it really is amazing. And every morning when we wake up, especially on a clear day, which we get fairly often, I would say, when it's crisp, when it's cold in the morning, you have a beautiful view of the Pyrenees, and at the moment they're still snow-capped in March. It's a lot nicer and far more impressive than what I imagined. But yeah, we are settling in very nicely now. Everything is falling into place. We finally feel like we have our feet on the ground. Of course, there are a few things which we do need to still solve and to iron out, but in general, everything is falling into place. Okay, I think I probably need to go back to the office. I don't really want to leave here because it's actually a very nice day in the middle of March, and it's 16 degrees. It feels hotter just because there's no wind and it's very, very sunny. Can't stay forever. time to go. Integrating is not easy, but it can be a lot of fun. My son doesn't do judo just for the sport. He is finding his voice in a new language. For my daughter, the piano didn't change, but her environment did. Hearing those same etudes and sonatinas in a different house was the moment the walls started feeling familiar again. In France, everything has shifted an hour to the right. At first, it felt like we were constantly in a rush, but now that extra hour feels like the time we finally gained back. 6 months in, the house is familiar again, the neighbours are friends, and the routine is set. France isn't where we moved, it's where we live. But we built it. One egg, one piano lesson, one step at a time. You can even enjoy the wine. I have no idea what this wine is, but apart from being red, it's red wine. My wife bought it for me, so it could be worth 20 euros the bottle, and maybe it's 2. I have no idea, but I'm going to enjoy it nevertheless.